Alright, guys, so UFC 288 just wrapped up. Aljamain Sterling beat Henry Cejudo in the main event. It was a very close fight. I had it 3-2 for Sterling, but I'd have to watch it again to make sure that Cejudo, just in case, didn't win. But it seemed like the activity was the difference. The height and reach gave Cejudo some problems, and Sterling was actually able to get Cejudo down more than once. And but when he did, Cejudo would pop back up, which would deny Sterling from his top control. But Sterling showed his striking in this fight. It didn't look the best, but it was enough to get the job done. And like I would say his striking looked better when he fought guys like Pedro Munoz or Jimmy Rivera. But his next fight is with Sean O'Malley, and I think that's a more favorable matchup with the grappling. Peter Yan was taking O'Malley down, and I know O'Malley wasn't expecting it, but, so that goes somewhere. And for Henry Cejudo, it seems like he's probably going to retire. He says he's kind of conflicted between if he wants to stay or if he wants to retire. But he had a great performance too, to be fair. Coming out 3 years, he did look a bit slower in the striking, but his wrestling was still there. So that's something he can take away. But moving on to the co-main event, I earlier this week I made a video how Belal Muhammad beats Gilbert Burns, but I ended up picking Gilbert Burns. But in that video, I was talking about some of the ways Belal would win. Like he implemented some like the kicks to like keep Burns' right hand at his chin, like the activity, the straight punches. And Belal had just a great game plan. He executed it well. He fought very well. The thing that made me slay towards Gilbert was obviously I thought that there'd be a bit more grappling, and I didn't think that Belal, for one, would be in 5 rounds cardio shape. Like it's still a lot of cardio and a lot of energy. I didn't think he was gonna be able to go 5 rounds, but he was. So fair play to him. And I didn't think that his chin would hold up, because Gilbert Burns is heavy-handed. I thought that Gilbert was probably gonna hurt Belal, but he didn't. Belal looked pretty big in there. I'm not gonna lie. He didn't cut too much weight, but he looked like he was really big. Gilbert, it was speculated that he might have been injured, but I think it might have been due to the first round, he shot a takedown and he landed wrong on his left shoulder. And I think that's something went wrong there. And then Belal was just able to comfortably win. It was actually relatively easy. My scorecards for that fight, I had a 50-45. One judge had it that way, and the other two different, 49-46. But yeah, Belal looked great. His striking improved a lot, surprisingly. And I feel like now his striking is getting better. He's got great takedown defense, and he's putting it together well. And I think he can honestly beat someone like Colby Covington. Colby's striking, we've seen it. It's not bad, but he was it's more so his cardio and his pace. He's not the most skilled guy, but it's his volume rather. Belal actually showed to have some pretty good technique. He was able to control the pace. Now, granted, Colby will probably be the one pressuring Belal, but still it looks like Belal has great cardio. He's a strong dude. He's definitely on steroids, but maybe so is Gilbert. But for the rest of the fights, Yan Xiaonan, the Chinese chick, she was able to knock out Jessica Andrade. Andrade was swinging like hooks while keeping her chin high up in the air, and that's very, very ill-advised. And she was just asking to get caught, and she got dropped pretty hard. Her head bounced off the canvas, but then she kind of was starting to pop back up, and then Yang Xiaonan was just punching her, and Keith Peterson had to step in because didn't look like she was fighting back. So great win for her. I don't get why she would be getting the title shot over Amanda Lemos, but they might do that. I thought Lemos was gonna fight Wei Li, like that fight would be announced by now, but it hasn't. So I think the UFC is probably going to go to Singapore and try to make the fight between Yang Zhanao and Zhang Weili, which would be a great fight, really competitive. But overall, this was a pretty good card, I'm not gonna lie.